All right, here we go. So I wanted to show y'all something very funny that I thought was like, it's super funny. So I thought this would be like perfect video to showcase this because I pretty much have the hand to do it, and like this is just super funny. Watch this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna activate Fiendsmith Engraver right here. Fiendsmith Engraver is gonna grab track, right? I'm gonna activate track. Now with track, I'm gonna grab this card right here, Terra Source of Destruction. Then I can just discard anything, right? I can discard whatever I want. So I'm gonna discard probably Call by the Grave. For this example, just Call by the Grave. Then I'm gonna go pre-preparation of rights to grab Mirror and to also grab the Habakiri right here. Now, this is just simply to get enough advantage to activate this card, because this card reads that you have to shuffle 10 other cards from your, with different names by the way, from your hand, field, deck, or extra deck, and cannot be special summoned by any other way. So why is this card so good? I'm gonna show you why. It's not even necessarily that it's good, it just puts the game into a funny scenario, a funny state. When it becomes activatable, we'll read it and we'll talk about what it actually does. So we're gonna go Habakiri right here to summon Saji. Saji activate. And then I'm gonna grab a Ritual. Ritual activate. And right here I'm gonna use Night Sword Serpent plus Night Sword Serpent plus Aramasa, because I'm just trying to gain advantage right here. And I can use Kusanagi to actually add the card back by just normal summoning it. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're just trying to gain a lot of advantage. So that's all we're doing. And I'll just add Mirakumo. And we're just gonna activate the ritual or the mirror right here. Let's go tribute Habakiri on field to summon out Mirakumo. I'm not doing this in any like particular type of way either. I'm literally just doing this to gain advantage. So just be mindful of that. And then I need to normal out Kusanagi. So I guess I could tribute with prayers and special summon something back. I'll just normal out Kusanagi. And then we're gonna use this to grab that ritual back. And we're gonna activate the ritual. And we're gonna tribute to summon Futsu. This is the one I haven't used the effects of yet. And like I said, it needs to be different names, so I'm gonna grab Purification right here. Of course, we're gonna summon that back out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're at 8 cards so far. Let's go ahead and keep getting some advantage. So we're gonna go Infernal Flame Banshee. I'm gonna activate this to actually grab Poplar right here. Poplar is gonna activate. And right here, it looks like, what do we do with Poplar? We're gonna go for Original Sinful Spoils right here. We're almost there. We're almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. So all I really have to do is just link Poplar off for Link Karibo. And this should make 10. There we go. 10 cards. We got our 10 cards. So now we're going to activate this card right here to just summon it out. We're going to tribute everything from our hand, field, to summon this card out onto the field. Now, before I tribute this last card, let me explain what this card does. Basically, this card says Terra Source of Destruction, and there's a reason why I don't care about whatever happens on the field. Literally, it's all going away anyway, so setting up any board further than this is just wasting time. This card says that this card's special summon cannot be negated. If this card is special summoned, shuffle all cards into the deck except this card from each player's hand, field, graveyard, and face up pendulum monsters from the extra deck. So yeah, everything gets shuffled back except this card, and then except for banished cards and cards that are unaffected, so those don't go back either. And then neither players can activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. So that means that when it happens, it's going to happen. So let's watch how this plays out. Everything goes back. This monster goes onto the field, literally pulls everything out of your opponent's hand. They start with nothing. They have nothing in the graveyard. So if they've been sending shit to the graveyard, if they max seed you or whatever, if they fucking, doesn't matter, all that shit goes back. The only thing that stays is banished shit. So if you've banished something, that stays. But now we're not done, because this is not just what we're going to create. We can actually play from this one card. So what we're going to do is go into Fiendsmith Requiem, and then you're going to go Requiem effect into Lacrima effect to dump the engraver. And then you have a couple plays here. You can either go engraver, shuffle back something to summon, which actually that's what we'll do. Engraver, shuffle back the Terror. And they can't Nibiru because they don't fucking have a card in their hand, so you don't have to worry about anything now. You could link these off and go into sequence. Sequence effect, go into Desiree if you wanted to do that. Lacrima, then Desiree or whatever. But I don't do that. I do something a little different because I want more disruption instead of just an on-field negate. So we're gonna go Requiem right here to equip to Lacrima, and then into Necro equip, just like that, and then into DDD Wave King High Caesar. Now what this means is, now I have the board set up to where I have Lacrima and Requiem plus DDD Wave King High Caesar. So I have 2 special summon negates, and then I also have the send effect that'll happen with this, where I can send the trap card. Now I can just end my turn. So I can activate this whenever I want to. So I'm just gonna let my opponent make their play. They're just gonna summon a body onto the field and end their turn. So this is where I'm just gonna go ahead and activate this while it's activatable. Go Requiem, and then I can summon Lacrima back out. You can put it in defense if you want to, because they haven't entered the battle phase, but their monster is face down. So, I mean, unless they're going to contact summon into a dragon with that, unless this is like something that can contact summon with your monsters plus this from the extra deck, like, bro, you're good. We're gonna send with Fiendsmith in Paradise, send that to the graveyard. So even if they did contact summon, like, we could still Fiendsmith in Paradise and send that. And would you look at that? Now we draw into Original Sinful Spoils. That's full Snake Eyes combo. And we could just tribute Lacrima and do full Snake Eyes if we wanted to. So let's actually just do that. And remember, we use all, this is at 1. This is at 1. We used all of this stuff last turn, or did we? Oh, to make the board? I don't think we did full Snake Eyes. We just used Poplar. But basically, like, everything's still in your deck, so you still can do everything. You still have all your resources, and you can reset all of this stuff. And then if I wanted to, I could do the Terror again. If I got into the game deep again and I wanted to Terror them again, you could create an infinite match to where the match lasts forever and you just keep playing top deck mode until your opponent's eventually top deck's better than you and wins. But or you can just win, you know. So I'm just gonna go Divine Temple and just do my Snake Eyes plays and just win the game. So yeah, Snake Eye Diabell Star and Ash send a Diabell Star to actually summon out Flamberge. And then of course we're gonna have to go IP Masquerena with Flamberge plus Poplar. Of course Flamberge is gonna activate, Poplar is gonna activate. Poplar is going to set the Snake Eye Diabell Star in the back row. Flamberge is going to summon out 2 bodies. And then we can link this off. I didn't want to link this one, but it's okay. Link this off for a Link Karibo. And we can go into Promethean Princess. Princess to summon a Flamberge. What else do I got in my grave? Just Ash. Yeah, I don't want to use Diabell Star with Ash because so we're just gonna do this instead. And I don't want to set a fire in my back row, so this is a pretty decent enough board. So we're gonna go Flamberge effect to actually set IP. And then we're just gonna enter battle phase. Oh. So you're basically playing top deck mode, and you have advantage because you get 2 special summon negates plus the trap and grave. So if they grab anything, you can stop them 3 times, basically. So three turns of special summon stops that you get as advantage. So you're really kind of playing unfair. It's unfair top deck mode. Let's see. And you can keep activating Lacrima to give you advantage on their turn. So it's like really unfair. Let's see here. So of course I'm just gonna go Lacrima effect right here. Summon the Requiem. They're gonna go Allure of Darkness. Okay. We're just gonna go Requiem right here. They're already in top deck mode, so it's so funny to me. Like, this is the power of this too. Like, they have to gamble at this point. Like, they have to gamble. And I know this is just a computer, but this just kind of shows you like how decks that you would play against would work. If this was Sky Striker, they would have to just sit here and keep going spell after spell and pray that they get something to start plays. Let's see. We're gonna go Lacrima effect to actually send Engraver. And then boom, he is going to set that card right there face down. And then I can activate Flamberge to actually summon out IP. And I could have used IP right there if he did put something in attack position, but this just going to show like how much advantage you can actually like set up from this. Let's see. So I can actually activate sinful spoils from the graveyard to just keep doing more. Like a breaker, I can grab Kurakari. So let's shuffle back. Let's shuffle back Poplar to grab Kurakari. I just find this so funny. This shit's all funny to me. Let's see. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and attack for game. Just call it a day. I think I've shown what I need to show. Yeah. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Hopefully I showed y'all something that you might want to try out. You don't have to use Mitsurugi Snake Eye to do what I just did. It definitely makes it pretty easy because this deck can pretty much play through anything. Just the goal isn't to use your Fiendsmith until after you have used, I mean, because you could technically, if you can get Engraver into the graveyard without using any effects from Fiendsmith, you could technically go sequence summon Lacrima or the fusion monster Lacrima, add Fiendsmith Engraver to your hand from the graveyard if you can get it into the graveyard previously, and then you could basically set up the Wave King Caesar without like using the cards that you need to use to do what I just did, to basically put your game state into top deck mode. So if you're playing a deck like tier limits, for example, you basically put everything back into your deck after you shuffled it all into the grave. You could do whatever. I mean, you could like literally. It's just, this is kind of troll. Like this is kind of troll. Let me go show you. This is the funniest thing ever. It's so stupid too. It's so troll. But you could do this. Let me go to the decks. So the deck that I was just playing to do that is this deck right here. It's very broken, by the way. Very broken deck. This deck, I've made a ton of videos on this. I think this is the best deck I've ever created, and nothing in the meta can stop this deck. It has the answer to everything in the deck. Literally has the answer to everything. Lunalights, unaffected monsters. You have tributors. If you're like lock you out of the deck, you literally have answers. If you activate Max C and you draw 10 cards off of Max C, your opponent puts up what they think is unbreakable board, and it's just a bunch of Omni negates. Like, and they think to themselves, oh yeah, I can just negate anything he does. They could put up 30, 40, they could put up 1,000 Omni negates. This is just me just saying this. They could put up 1,000 Omni negates. If there's nothing on the field that says unaffected, or there's nothing that can activate from the banish zone, and you max eat them, they could have an infinite negate, and it would not be able to stop this card. There are infinite negate combos in this game too, by the way. I actually have a deck that can do an infinite negate, but it can't stop this. When this card goes out, it cannot be negated. The summon of this card cannot be negated, and it literally says right here, neither player can activate cards or effects in response to the activation, which means that when it hits the field, clears everything out. So puts the game into top deck mode. So funny. So if you maxi into this card, just the funniest thing. Fualos, all of that stuff gain you all this crazy advantage. You put all that shit in your deck, you draw into a bunch of cards, and you draw this, and then your opponent ends their turn, and you drop this. It just clears all the shit they've been building up instantly. But there are some decks. There are decks like, where is it at? I just said there's an infinite negate deck, and I want to show you. Where is it at? Fuck. I think this is it. Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? This is not it. Where is it at? This is not it. This one puts up negates, but it's not the infinite one. Is this it? Dragon Rulers. This one doesn't do it either. So basically, the way that the infinite negate combo works, maybe it's in my like old decks or whatever. The way it will work is you would basically summon out you basically put out level 7 monsters. Dragon Rulers does it, and Armed Dragon Thunder does it, but I think I may have deleted the deck. But the way it works is you go into Galaxy Tomahawk, you put out level 7s. The level 7s start making bodies. You start doing plays in a way to where you get one particular level 7 monster out onto the field, using, I don't see it, it's fuck, the card is Influendaries. I know for sure. I always keep it in Influendaries. Fuck, did I take it out? Yeah, I think I did. Well, it's this card right here, Miss Valley Apex Avian. You use this card plus, I believe it's called Samorge Bird of Sovereignty. So let me see. This card right here, Samorge Bird of Sovereignty. So that is what you would use to actually summon out the winged beast monster. So you would use this card right here. It protects, it summons, it does a whole bunch of stuff, and then they can't actually target your Miss Valley Apex Avian. And then you would basically use there's a card that goes with this card that makes it infinite, which is this card right here, Miss Valley Thunderbird. So you would basically get this card on the field with your Apex Avian, and then when you activate the effect of Apex Avian, this card goes back to the hand and then summons itself right back onto the field, giving you another negate. Then it goes right back onto the field, because it's not once per turn, and this is not once per turn. This is once per chain. This is once per like whenever it happens, it just happens. So yeah, so you just continue to get negates. It becomes an infinite negate with Apex Avian and Thunderbird. Yeah, so hopefully that explained what I was saying. Now what I was talking about with the other deck, where you could send a bunch of cards and you could do like some very unfair shit. It's so funny to me, but you could do some very unfair shit where your opponents literally will not be able to get back into the game. If you use that card, that Terra card, with this deck right here, Tier Limits, you could basically, if it hits the graveyard, it's okay, because you could use Fiendsmith cards to actually shuffle that shit back into the deck. If it hits the graveyard, and actually you could use it as material with sequence to actually go in and put yeah, you could use it as material when you go sequence, or Lacrima effect. When you activate Lacrima to put Engraver back into your hand, you literally just shuffle Terra back into your hand, or back into your deck. So then that way when you activate Fiendsmith Engraver, you can actually search for it, because it'll be back in the deck because you put it back in the deck with the Fiendsmith Lacrima effect. So this deck right here can do some crazy shit with it. I haven't tried it out in this deck, but I know it will, because you can basically summon a lot of bodies off of Horus, Fiendsmith, Tier Limits, whatever. You can gain a lot of advantage. You can make a lot of plays. This deck can set up so much. And one of the funniest things is if you get these cards in the graveyard with Transaction Rollback, and then you roll back your opponents for Deck Devastation Virus or Epidemic Virus, or even Full Force Virus. If you do any of this while you're in top deck mode and your opponent draws a card and it immediately pops and hits the graveyard, and then their turn is over, like, you've already gained the advantage that you need. So they can't do anything. They have to just sit there and just be like, fuck, all right, next turn. And then now the game is in top deck state, and you can go into the Wave King Caesar that we talked about. You can do all the same stuff that that I was doing, and then also top deck mode with tier limits. Like, this deck has so many starters, so many cards in this deck that, like, once you put the game in the top deck state, like, you're not losing with this deck, bro. There are some other decks that are like that too. That there are a lot of one card starter decks that I guess you could put that into. For example, one of the main one card starter decks that if you put that in, Prank Kids is one of them. Prank Kids generates a ton of advantage. It can board wipe, it can do all kind of stuff. One card starters, one card combos with this deck, so you can pretty much create board wipes every single turn with this deck, and it has a ton of one card starters. So if you put something like that in this deck, your opponents lose and they will be fucking pissed. What other decks? I mean, branded would absolutely wreck shop with people. If you, I mean, well, you can't really do one card starters with it. So I'm thinking decks that do one card starters. Prank Kids, tier limits for sure. What else does one card starters? Scareclaws. Oh my god, Scareclaws. Yeah, definitely one card starters all day with this. The entire deck is pretty much built with one card starters. So one card, and yeah, top deck mode too. Oh yeah, you draw any Prank Kid and it's GG's full combo. Or it's not Prank Kid, it's one Scareclaw and it's pretty much GG's. Chimera actually has a lot of starters, and on top of that, like, you would have in-engine light fiends that can actually get you like into those other Fiendsmith combos to actually do that. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed like me showing the stupid idea that I had that's kind of like funny. If you want to try it out, troll some people and, you know, knock yourselves out. I think that's a pretty funny way to do something that nobody's doing, is to actually just summon out. I mean, to me, I think the funniest scenario when it happens, I gotta make a video on it. But I think the funniest scenario that I could see myself doing with this is to retaliating see my opponents. Like, they're playing Draco Tail or something. Retaliating C, they find a way to get this off the field like immediately. I grab Max C, activate Max C. They start trying to play into it because they want to have some form of a board. I end up getting enough cards to go 10 cards advantage and then draw into this. And I just literally dropped this card. I think that would be the funniest shit on the planet, because they wouldn't be able to react to it. Everything goes back into their deck, and they need 2 monsters to do their Draco Tails. Like, it's just so funny, man. It's so troll too. Like, the only way you can really do Draco Tail combos at that point would be if you drew into Branded Fusion, because if you draw into the Draco Tail monsters, you need 2 of them. So, like, if they don't have Branded Fusion, they literally just lose. So it'd be the funniest thing. It's the only card they can really draw in the deck. That just immediately gets them like back into the game. So I think that's the funniest thing ever. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. I'll catch y'all on the next one, and peace.